God save all of us. So you want to start with Fate. You want to get into Fate. You have no idea where to start. You know, you're interested, whatever. You want to get into this. You have no idea how to get to this point. You're interested though. The problem is the watch order is kind of confusing. You see all sorts of online discourse and it's driving you mad. And you're just kind of like, well, I just want to start this. I don't care. So I don't care what happens. I just want to get into this. So I'm here to help you with that. So let's look at our options. Number 1, we've got Fate Stay Night by Studio Dean. Number 2, we got, wait, let me see if I can find it. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works by Studio Ufotable. Number 3, Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel by Ufotable. And Fate Zero by Studio Ufotable. So we've got quite the huge lineup. And let's take a look at each one. So for starters, this, you don't need this. The Studio Dean adaptation before this came out was the only way you could start with Fate if you wanted to start with the source material. The problem is that it's an inaccurate adaptation of the Fate route, because somewhere along the way it starts mixing in elements of the later 2 routes. You can actually pinpoint the exact moment that it happens. So we don't need this. Fate Stay Night Unlimited Blade Works is the ideal starting point if you're an anime watcher. Personally, I would recommend you read the visual novel, but I understand that is pretty tall order considering that it takes about half of a Persona playthrough to get to the good stuff, or actually to just finish the entire thing, like all 3 routes. This is your ideal starting point right here. And this, I would have recommended this to you as a starting point before I watched the movie back in 2018, but this skips the prologue, since it assumes by now that you've probably seen this, and the Dean adaptation, and read the visual novel, and Zero. At this point, this assumes that you've watched all of this. And Fate Zero is a prequel of Fate Stay Night. Right, so let's get to the fun part. Take a shot if you've heard this one before. If you start with Fate Unlimited Blade Works, you'll spoil yourself with
Fate Zero.
NANI? If you start with Zero
spoils Fate Stay Night Heaven's Feel. Stop! Okay? Stop. This is too much. This is a complete
feel, which you will never read or see until you watch this and watch the original Dean adaptation, which you shouldn't, but if you want it for completionist reasons, then you probably could, but honestly, don't. Trust me, just don't. So yeah. Take a shot if you've heard that one before, because I guarantee you that you have heard that one before. So let's talk about it. Alright, so for starters, let's talk about the elements that this spoils about Heaven's Feel are a pretty big deal. So, but let's be honest, you will never remember them. You won't remember. You probably won't even give a shit about it. By the time you're done with Zero, you're probably going to be thinking about where all these characters are and how that leads into this more than whatever happens here. This is the last route you read in the visual novel, so don't even worry about this for now. So your options here are, where do you want to start, from here or here? So let me explain why it's a little hard to recommend Fate Zero first and then Limited Blade. The main issue is that Fate Stay Night was created by Kinoko Nasu and Takashi Takeuchi. Nasu is the scenario writer and Takeuchi is the artist, along with their team at Type Moon. So, you know, they're kind of like big bosses. Fate Zero is an adaptation of the 4th Holy Grail War, which takes place before Fate Stay Night, but the problem is that this is an adaptation by another writer, because the events of Fate Zero, while they're not explained they're not explained entirely, they are alluded to and recounted by a lot of characters in both the anime, the visual novel, as stories or flashbacks or whatever. Not as literal flashbacks, but just as kind of like, oh yeah, I remember this happened, or this happened after that, yada. So, you're kind of in this tall order of, oh wow, do I want to start with this or with this? So, a lot of people will probably look down on you start with Zero. The main reason is because we tend to have a lot of bad experiences with like Zero fans, or how people like to call them Zero tarts, because they think that Zero is the best thing that's ever happened to them. They treat Fate Stay Night as if like it fell off. That's kind of like a rude way to look at the franchise, to be honest. Oh yeah, this one's made by a different writer, so it's better than this one. But that's kind of like the perceived notion between these two. So, One of the biggest reasons is because two characters have completely different characterizations between this and this, and they are Saber and Kodomine Kire right here. So, Saber's characterization in Fate Stay Night is entirely different from her characterization as Zero. In Fate Stay Night, she is a servant. You know, she is battle hardened. She's ready to do whatever it takes to win, and she is willing to go the extra mile to make sure that she wins. By that I mean that she's willing to kill any master, even if they lose her servants. That's basically it. Kire Kodomine in Fate Stay Night is well, I mean, come on. Oh wait, sorry. Did it again. Look at this. Look at this. Does this look like a person who's saying, look at these eyes, they are hollow. These are the eyes of a hollow man. A man that has nothing left to lose. But basically in Fate Zero, because it's a light novel adaptation, and you know, we need chapters, and it needs to be long, Kire Kodomine goes through a character arc where he becomes evil, you know, since he is the antagonist. So, you know, those are the big two differences. But other than that, you're completely fine to just start or interpret as, oh yeah, I'm just gonna headcanon it as the characters started like this, and then they became like that in Fate Stay Night, whatever. You can easily just headcanon, write that off as a movie. That's fine. That's completely fine. You can do that. All right, so those are like the main things, the main differences. So if you're still not convinced of where you want to start, here I can pull this up for you. This is an interview with Nasu, Hinoko Nasu, Takashi Takeuchi, and Geru Urobuchi throughout the release of Fate Zero, the anime. And basically, Takeuchi, from what you can read here, he believes that you should start with Fate Stay Night before you go with Zero. And Nasu believes that it's fine to start with Zero because there's an overwhelming amount of content in Stay Night. I mean, the visual novel alone is about 100 hours. And on top of that, there's a fan disc, which is kind of like a sequel, but not really, which is even longer. So yeah. So as you can see, creator said that you could do whatever the fuck you want. Alright? Zero, UBW is fine. You can do that. So, what about the visual novel? Well, there's a lot of options for that. You can do Kirikiroid, that's an Android emulator. Or that's a visual novel emulator that lets you play visual novels on Android. I don't know if it's on iPhone, but you can read Fate with it. I'm not gonna show you the tutorial online. You can figure that out yourself. There's also a PC port, obviously. Unfortunately, Fate Stay Night was never properly localized. A lot of it is emulation and getting a legal copy, then patching it, which in itself is a long process. But there are communities and Reddit posts willing to help you out. And recently, there's actually a new way. This right here. This is a web adaptation of the Fate Stay Night visual novel, as you can see, and it actually works. Here, let me just. So yeah, that's a thing that actually exists, and yeah, that's it. Honestly, I just explained it to you. That's the entire watch order. That's it, literally. What else do you want me to say? Look at this shit. Look at Keiko's chart. Look at this. Does this look like the face of a man who wants to get you into Fate? I mean, look at it. Look how complicated this is. Look at this. This man is tired as hell, and he made all of this. When all he had to do was just crop it out. Here we go. All he had to do was this. See, he could have just. Here's the prequel, here's Fate Stay Night, here's the pre-routes, and then here's today's menu for the MEF family. That's a spin-off you can read, you can watch after anything you do here, or here, or here, whatever. And Fate All Alteraxia, here it is, it's a sequel to Fate. But not really. And yeah, that is literally it. That is the watch order. The watch order essentially is do whatever you want. You're free to do it. Just Fate Stay Night, Fate Zero, whatever. You're completely fine to do that. And that's it. Pretty much. So you know what? This fucking video was dumb. Just Just watch Carnival Phantasm. Just fucking watch Carnival Phantasm. Don't fucking ask me for anything.